Can anyone convert to Hinduism? Or do you have to be born Hindu? This is one of the most common questions people ask about Hinduism, and also one of the most misunderstood. Because unlike Christianity or Islam, Hinduism has no single founder, no one central authority, and no universal conversion formula that every Hindu agrees on. So a lot of people assume the answer must be no. That Hinduism is closed, ethnic, inherited, something you're born into and can never truly join. But the real answer is far more interesting than that. Because historically, spiritually, and even legally, people absolutely have become Hindu. The real question is not simply whether conversion is possible. It is how it happens, who accepts it, and what becoming Hindu actually means. So, can anyone convert to Hinduism? The short answer is yes. But Hinduism understands conversion very differently from many other religions. When most people hear the word conversion, they imagine something very specific. A person changes religion, makes a formal declaration of faith, and enters a new religious system. That model fits many Abrahamic religions quite well. But Hinduism is not built that way. Hinduism, or Sanatana Dharma, is not a single institution. It is a vast spiritual civilization made up of many philosophies, sects, scriptures, deities, rituals, and ways of life. Because of that, it has never had one single global conversion process. In fact, many Hindus would say you do not convert to eternal truth in the same way you join an organization. You awaken to it. You align yourself with it. You begin living according to Dharma. That is why the Hindu idea of conversion is often less about one official moment and more about practice, initiation, identity, and acceptance. So already we need to let go of the idea that becoming Hindu must look exactly like converting to another religion. Now, to be fair, there is a reason many people believe you must be born Hindu. Historically, Hindu society was deeply tied to Varna and Jati social class and inherited community. Religion was not just about what you believed. It was also about the social world you were born into. So for many traditional communities, the problem was not only, do you believe in Hindu teachings? It was also, where do you fit in the inherited ritual and social structure? That made conversion more complicated than simply adopting new beliefs. A person could read the Bhagavad Gita, worship Krishna or Shiva, practice yoga, meditate, chant mantras, and still be seen by some as outside the inherited framework. And that is why, for centuries, Hinduism could seem socially closed even when it was spiritually open. But that does not mean Hinduism has always rejected outsiders altogether. In fact, history shows the opposite. The idea that Hinduism has always been completely closed is simply not accurate. Ancient India had ways of absorbing outside groups into the dharmic world. Tribal communities, foreign peoples, and regional populations were integrated over time in different ways. One famous example is the Heliodorus pillar, created by a Greek ambassador in ancient India who identified himself as a devotee of Vasudeva, an early form of Vishnu-Krishna worship. That is clear historical evidence of a foreigner embracing a Hindu tradition. Hindu influence also spread far beyond India, especially into places like Cambodia, Java, and Bali, where entire societies adopted Hindu ideas, kingship, ritual systems, and sacred traditions. So historically, outsiders absolutely could enter the Hindu fold. Quick pause before we get back into the history. We just officially launched the Hinduism Unveiled Discord server. If you want to debate the topics we cover, drop your wildest theories, or directly suggest ideas for our next video, this is the place to do it. We really want this to be a space where anyone can express their opinions and dive deep into these historical discussions, so I kindly encourage everyone to join. Also, a huge shout out to our YouTube members. There is an exclusive VIP lounge waiting just for you inside. Just sync your YouTube account when you join to access the private channel. The link is in the description to directly join the server. Come hang out and let's get back to the video. The important point is that Hinduism did not always describe this using the modern Western word conversion. It often looked more like assimilation, initiation, adoption of dharma, or entry into a specific lineage. And that distinction still matters today. If you want the clearest example of organized conversion to Hinduism, you have to talk about the Arya Samaj. Founded in the 19th century by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, The Arya Samaj was a Hindu reform movement that called for a return to the Vedas and challenged both Christian missionary activity and what it saw as corruptions within Hindu society. And one of the biggest things it did was this: it created a structured path for Shuddhi, purification, and reconversion, which later became a recognized route for people entering Hinduism as well. Under leaders like Swami Shraddhanand, this became a major movement. People could undergo ritual purification, fire ceremony, and formal acceptance into the Hindu fold. That was a huge shift. Because now, Hinduism did not just have a vague philosophical openness, it had an actual institutional mechanism for saying, yes, a person can enter. Even today, Arya Samaj temples are among the most recognized places in India for formal conversion to Hinduism. A person may go there, declare their intention, take part in a sacred ritual, and receive a certificate of conversion. So if someone asks, is there a real ceremony through which a non-Hindu can become Hindu? The answer is clearly yes. This is one of the most important ideas in the whole discussion. Many people do not convert to a vague, generic Hinduism. They enter a specific sampradaya, a lineage or devotional tradition. That might be a Vaishnava tradition devoted to Vishnu or Krishna, a Shaiva tradition devoted to Shiva, a Shakta tradition centered on the goddess, or a Vedantic path focused on knowledge, meditation, and liberation. In these cases, the key act is usually Diksha, spiritual initiation from a guru. So becoming Hindu often happens through a lineage, a mantra, a teacher, a set of practices, and a living community. That is why the answer to this question is so varied. The path into Hindu life depends on which tradition you are entering. And perhaps the strongest modern example of this is ISKCON. No organization has done more to make Hindu devotion accessible to non-Indians worldwide than ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Founded in 1966 by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, ISKCON brought Gaudiya Vaishnavism to the West in a huge way. People from outside India began chanting Krishna's names, reading the Bhagavad Gita, adopting Hindu practices, receiving initiation, and living as full-time devotees. And this was not symbolic. They followed strict discipline, took vows, changed their daily lives, adopted Hindu names, and were treated within the movement as serious practitioners of bhakti. That matters because it proves that, in practice, millions of non-Indians have become part of a Hindu devotional tradition in a very real sense. Now, not every orthodox group agrees on how fully such converts should be recognized. But the lived reality is undeniable. People not born Hindu do become practicing Hindus. That is not theory. That is fact. ISKCON is not the only route. Some people come into Hinduism through Vedanta, especially through lineages influenced by Swami Vivekananda and the Ramakrishna mission. These groups often avoid aggressive conversion language and instead focus on spiritual study, meditation, practice, and gradual adoption of Hindu philosophy. Others enter through traditional Shaiva or Vaishnava lineages, where formal initiation by a guru is what matters most. So in practice, there are several ways someone might become Hindu. They may go through Arya Samaj. They may receive Diksha into a sect. They may adopt Hindu philosophy and practice through Vedanta. They may legally change religion and take a Hindu name. Or they may gradually live so fully within Hindu practice that for all meaningful purposes, their life becomes Hindu. So again, the idea that Hinduism is simply closed to outsiders is too simplistic. But there is still one major complication. Even though conversion to Hinduism is possible, recognition is not always universal. And the biggest reason is caste and inherited community. For many Orthodox traditionalists, Hindu identity has long been tied to birth. From that point of view, someone may sincerely worship Hindu deities and live by Hindu teachings, but still not fit into the inherited social order in the same way as someone born into a Hindu jati. This is why some conservative voices remain reluctant about converts. It is also why certain temples in India have historically restricted entry for non-Hindus and in some cases even for foreign-born converts. So we have to be honest here. The answer to can anyone convert to Hinduism is not the same as the answer to, will every Hindu institution accept that equally? Some communities will welcome a sincere convert fully. Some will partially accept them. Some will still see them as outsiders. That does not erase conversion. It just means Hinduism is internally diverse, and acceptance depends heavily on which tradition and community you are dealing with. Legally, the answer is much clearer. In modern India, a person can convert to Hinduism. Indian law recognizes, converts, and reconverts in important areas like marriage, adoption, maintenance, and legal identity. In practice, this may involve affidavits, public notices, conversion certificates, and official name changes. So, from a civil law perspective, conversion to Hinduism is not some vague spiritual concept. It is a recognized legal reality. At the same time, religion in India is highly politicized, and conversion is a controversial subject. Anti-conversion laws, reconversion campaigns, and wider debates around identity have made the issue extremely sensitive. But the legal point remains important. The Indian state does recognize that a non-Hindu can become Hindu. So while theology and society may debate the details, the law itself is not denying the possibility. So now we come back to the main question. Can anyone convert to Hinduism? Yes, people absolutely can and do become Hindu. They do so through ritual, initiation, devotion, legal recognition, spiritual practice, and community acceptance. But Hinduism does not usually reduce that process to one universal formula. For some Hindus, conversion is a formal ceremony. For others, it is entry into a lineage. For others, it is awakening to Sanatana Dharma. For others, it is not fully complete unless the community accepts you. So the most honest answer is this: Hinduism is not universally closed, but it is also not uniformly open in exactly the same way everywhere. It is a vast and plural tradition. That is why becoming Hindu is possible, but the meaning of that process depends on theology, lineage, caste, law, and community. And maybe that is the real lesson here. Hinduism does not fit neatly into modern categories. It is older than them, broader than them, and more internally diverse than most people realize. So no, you do not always have to be born Hindu. But yes, what it means to become Hindu can vary dramatically depending on who you ask. Before we wrap up, if you want to support these videos directly, there are now 3 ways to get involved. You can become a member for exclusive credits, grab high-quality digital art and clothing from the shop, or just leave a super thanks if you enjoyed this specific video. I've left all the links for those right down in the description. So what do you think? Can anyone truly become Hindu, or does birth still matter more than belief? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more videos on Hinduism, its philosophy, scriptures, and traditions. Thank you for watching. Keep seeking, keep searching, and as always, stay curious.